side. They came back east and acquired Chris Nilan, a tough guy for the right side.
Sam, a week ago Tuesday, the team was intimidated in a game in Los Angeles, and since that point, this team, the Rangers that is, has completely changed its complexion, and I think for the better. The skill players now, people like Podubny and people like Sandstrom, people like Dolan, I think we'll be able to go out and prove their worth. With having a person like Nilan in the lineup along with Patterson, what that does, I think, is nullify a lot of the cheap shots that have been coming towards those players in their direction. These players have been hammered around. Brian Mullen's been hammered around. And you just simply can't win in the National Hockey League with your best players being hammered around.
What about this, John? The Rangers have had difficulty on the road killing penalties. Nilan and Patterson are likely to take some bad penalties. Won't that put added pressure on the penalty killers for the Rangers?
I would rather have added pressure on a penalty killing unit than I would have my best player bumped and battered around. That is something the Rangers themselves will have to deal with, and I think it's a situation where they will feel better about themselves and know that they've got to go out and work hard and kill a penalty because somebody stuck up for them, and it's something they needed.
Philadelphia Flyers have got an eye on the game in New Jersey tonight, where the Pittsburgh Penguins are playing the New Jersey Devils, and the coaching debut of Jim Schoenfeld. Playing the New Jersey Devils, and the coaching debut of Jim Schoenfeld. And early in that game, Pittsburgh has a 2-0 lead over New Jersey. The Penguins had lost their last two at home, and now we've got something going. Nilan and Berube
right in front of the Flyers bench
during a break in the action. And Berube getting in a couple of good shots. Nilan can't seem to get his hand loose. Berube's got a good grab on the jersey.
Nilan's a great second-half fighter. Second half of the fight itself. He's a very well-conditioned individual, and this one, the linesman may jump in here any minute. If one or the other could get his hands free, something may happen.
Oh, wow, he's in a big left there.
He's a second-half fighter, I'm telling you. He's a strong, well-conditioned individual. Berube was involved in a scrap in Boston the other day. Not a lot of punches connected, but one big left did from Chris Nilan.
Nilan took the first couple and then got one in. Berube with a couple of words. Nilan with his first fight as a New York Ranger. Chris Nilan is fourth in the National Hockey League in penalty minutes this season with 204.
Probert leads the league. Bob Probert from Detroit. Nilan scored his first goal ever against Philadelphia. His first assist ever against Philadelphia. His first scrap against Philadelphia. And now he's here with the Rangers in Philadelphia.
And Berube heads into the penalty box. Nilan with the response to Berube.
Here, penalty number 30, Chris Nilan, and Flyers penalty number 17.
Andy Van Hellemond probably telling Berube to calm down and let's not have any more. But we'll see. Nilan and Berube, 5 minutes each for fighting at 13:38, and they continue.
I think they may meet again before this one's over. I really do.
Davidson is in our studio, standing by to talk with the newest New York Ranger, Chris Nilan. Let's go
Thanks
to JD.
very much, Sam. For Rangers general manager Phil Esposito, this is the 30th deal that he has been involved with the Rangers. And Chris Nilan, welcome to the New York Rangers.
Well, thanks for welcoming me, and it's good to be here, and maybe I'll get a chance to play now and to maybe have some input into the Rangers making the playoffs.
Now, you were dealt yesterday, of course, to the Rangers. Yesterday, you were involved with two trades. One, the Montreal Canadiens had tried to trade you to St. Louis, and you yourself nullified that deal. Can you explain why and what teams you did pick, and are you happy to be a Ranger?
Well, I'm very happy to be a Ranger. I just, when I was told I was dealt to the Blues, I really didn't want to go there. I know the situation there over the past few years has been unstable. They were talking about going to Saskatoon, and I didn't want to go to Saskatoon. If I was going to St. Louis, then yeah, but I wanted to stay in the East and maybe in the division in the East because I've been playing out here my whole career, and I think this division here will be similar to the Adams division, and it suits my style of play.
There had been some discussions between you and head coach Jean Perron with the Montreal Canadiens, and I understand they weren't great discussions, some disagreements. Can you fill us in on those?
Well, I had a few with them. You know, I get taken off the check-in line, and you know, that was the first step going backwards, the way I looked at it. And you know, I had a lot of responsibility with that club over the years, and I took the responsibility, and I think I worked well with the team, and I did a lot for them. And once my responsibility was taken away, it was difficult for me as a member of the team to be the same type of person that I was before. My ice time became less, and I just wasn't the same guy in the locker room, on the ice or on the bench. And any time that you have responsibility taken away from you, it's difficult to deal with. And I just, if you're happy not playing, then you shouldn't be in the game. And I wasn't happy anymore.
You've had discussions, obviously, with Phil Esposito and Coach Michel Bergeron. You mentioned responsibilities. What have they said to you your responsibility will be with the Rangers?
Well, Phil just, he knows that the type of leader I can be in the room and on the ice, and they're not putting a lot of pressure on me. They just want me to go out and play my game. And as far as Michel Bergeron, I spoke with him a few times previous when he was with Quebec, but it wasn't the conversation wasn't too good. But I think he's a good motivator, and I've heard a lot of good things about Michel, and hopefully, he'll put me in the game in certain situations and give me an opportunity to play the type of game I can.
Chris, you've been noted as a very fiery player on the ice. And also, I think very few fans really realize that a person can be fiery in the dressing room. Could you explain what you feel, how you add character to a team in the dressing room?
Well, I like to talk it up, and I like to get along with everybody and laugh a lot and joke around. And I think that's in a long season, 80 games, you have to have times with the guys in the room that you lose, and there's so many tense moments in the league all year long. You have to keep things loose, and I think to be around the room and I wouldn't call myself a cheerleader, but to be able to go in there and pump the guys up and try and get things going on the ice and in the room. And, to be a leader doesn't always mean to go out and score 3 goals or get 5 goals, be the point man. And I just want to be able to contribute in that way in the room and on the ice.
All right, thanks for stopping by. We'll look forward to watching you play.
Well, I'll be looking forward to playing. I'm a little nervous now, but I'm sure the butterflies will get out of my stomach after the first couple of shifts.
All right, back to you, Sam.
Thanks, John. And Chris Nilan did make his presence felt in that first period, screening the goaltender on Brian Mullen's power play goal and then getting involved with Craig Berube in his first fight. Flyers get out of the zone. Big hit along the boards.
Oh, man. That is Sutter went down, and now Taka goes after Nilan.
No, it's Derek Smith. Derek Smith.
Well, Sutter's down. It's Derek Smith who went in after Nilan. Sutter was hammered into the boards, and he fell down on his back and never moved. And Nilan knew that he was going to be in for a rough go, and Derek Smith went after him immediately. Mark Howe is standing with Sandstrom, I believe. Smith involved with another Ranger player. Sutter down there with Sudsy Settlemeyer, the trainer.
Greg Smith and Joe Patterson are holding each other. That could go at any time if somebody says the wrong thing.
Smith likes to go. He's 0 for 1 in the last 2 games, though. He got involved with Brian McClellan, the former Ranger, now with Minnesota. Smelling salts out for Sutter.
What hit me, he said. Nilan comes out of the pile.
We'll see here as Nilan is going to go right into Sutter here. Sutter's looking for the puck. Nilan has him lined up. The puck's there, and boom, and that is a clean check. Sutter had his head down, and with his head down around his waist, the head went into the boards, and that's why he was knocked semi-conscious. There's Smith going after Nilan. That's not Nyland's fault that Sutter bent over, but you can expect the reaction from the Flyer players.
It'll be an instigator penalty for Derek Smith. Got to be. They haven't posted it yet. Cheers for Ron Sutter as he seems to be okay. Nilan and Derek Smith have gotten into the penalty boxes.
Sutter had his head.
Stays with him. Grunstrand centers off the stick of Nilan and into the corner. Sweeney gets to the puck. He goes down, so does Maloney. Wesley is there, number 26. Maloney works it free. Petit with a shot. Save, Keith. Rebound, score! Chris Nilan, his first goal as a New York Ranger. And the Rangers lead 1-0.
And the Ranger fans are going crazy here in the Boston Garden, and there's a lot of them here. Nilan comes from in behind the net. He's wide open on the forehand, and he quickly got rid of the puck underneath Doug Keens before Keens could get down and react on the original rebound. Watch Nilan fish out the puck. Don Maloney does the work. Nilan gets away from Miller on the forehand side now, and a quick release into the open side. Don Maloney with some solid work in the corner to the left side of Keens to send the puck back to the point man for the original shot.
Nilan is 8 from Petit and Maloney at 3:44. Rangers get the early lead, and the man from West Roxbury, Massachusetts, just right out of Boston. This is home territory for Chris Nilan as he scored.
Attributed to Phil Esposito's conscious effort to beef up the Blue Shirts. After being acquired from the Canadiens last week, Chris Nilan quickly learned what his role in the Rangers would be.
My role will be the same as it was with the Montreal Canadiens. I have to go out as a checker, and I have to play physical, and if I have to be there to stick up for my teammates, I will. And I think I'm going to get more of an opportunity to play here, and it's going to help my game. And I think in the room, I can be vocal in the room. I can be a leader in the room. I can be a leader off the ice. And I just want to bring some life here, and hopefully we can get things going.
And at this time, it would only be right, just fitting and proper to have the fellow that's getting all of the attention around the New York area right now, Chris Nilan, recently traded from the Montreal Canadiens, going to be a birthday boy next week, a Boston product, and a 9-year veteran in your 9th year. Did you get caught for speeding, leaving Montreal and getting to New York, Chris?
Well, no, actually I was in Buffalo and I flew to Montreal, then I left early in the morning down to Philadelphia, but you know, I think it was about time I got out of Montreal. Things were getting pretty stale there for me.
Tell me about your ice time. That was seemed to be the factor, the thing that you didn't like about being a Montreal Canadian, even though you did win a Stanley Cup in 1986.
Yeah, well, you know, I give everything that I could for that organization for so many years, and this new guy came in, and you know, we won the cup and everything, and right now they're playing well, but I just wasn't getting involved in the games like I was normally used to. I was sitting on the bench quite a bit, and there were a lot of penalties we had to kill. And anytime I played on a line, it was always with the other two guys that kill penalties, because I don't kill them, because usually I'm in the penalty box. But
I'd love to play on the team you were on. I get a lot of work.
But I just had a difficult time with dealing with my ice time. You know, a lot of my responsibility had been taken away from me by the coach. I was taken off the checking line. I wasn't playing, and anytime, you know, you're not playing, it's not a happy situation.
Let me ask you, is it hard to get mad at somebody, because you are an aggressive player, you're a physical player, and that's part of the game. It's a fundamental of the game, obviously keeping the sticks down, we'll say, but isn't it hard to get into a hockey game when you don't skate and you don't play? How can you get mad at somebody?
Well, you know, there was nights there I was embarrassed to take my equipment off afterwards near the end, because my T-shirt was so dry. It was never, I mean, I was never soaking wet after a game. I wasn't drenched, and that's how I used to be. But I was embarrassed at the end, and it is difficult to go out there and play that type of game. I mean, you're cold, you're sitting on the bench, and, you know, you watch, and then you say, you know, they say go out there and play, and, you know, it's difficult to be involved. I mean, I'm a role player, but I definitely have to be involved in the game to play my role.
Chris, tell me about your role. What can you bring to the New York Rangers? What do you think that what your advantage of being a Ranger can be, and give them?
Well, I think I can come, you know, and everybody knows the way I can play the game, and knows how I am on the ice. But as far as in the room goes, and I think I can bring a lot of leadership, a lot of fun. I mean, those guys are a great bunch of guys in there, and they've accepted me well. I just want to be able to talk it up and keep some spirit in that room, and you know, just realize that we have so many key games coming up, and I want to keep the atmosphere good.
Would it be safe to say that you're bringing a winning attitude, because isn't that a big thing in Montreal?
Yeah, but a winning attitude, I think, it's great to bring, and I'm glad I can come here and maybe incorporate some of what I learned up there into this team. But, you know, I'm not going to come in and change everything over. I think a winning attitude comes from every guy in the room, and you have to start thinking winning and be disciplined in your style of play, and then you're going to win hockey games.
It's always fun to compare, particularly on the media side. Give us, because you've only been here a short time, but give us some of the impressions that you've got for, we'll say, practices and the players, just, you know, your everyday being with the Ranger now compared to what you used to do.
Well, you know, it's like I said, you know, they asked to compare Bergeron and Perron, and I wasn't really up for doing that. But as far as Bergeron's practices go, I was really surprised. They're very high intensity, a lot of skating, a lot of shooting, and you're just always involved in the play. There's not much standing around, not as much teaching, and you know, you just go out there and skate and you play, and it's really good because you get a good workout. And like I say, even in practice up there near the end, I wasn't really going.
Let me ask you this before I let you go, Chris. It's hot here under the lights, but I want to keep you for one more question. Do you feel that that the fans will have any impression on the way you play, or will they have any input in the way you play? It's a very vociferous crowd in Madison Square Garden.
Well, I don't know. Geez, I haven't been there yet, and everybody,
Have you thought about it?
People are saying, like, geez, too bad we don't go back to Montreal this year. I said, I haven't been to New York yet. I got to get there. So, yeah, I've thought about it, but, I just want to go and play my game, and hopefully I can contribute to this team and get in the playoffs. That's all I want to do, and it's a really great feeling to be here in New York.
It's going to be exciting having you in the Patrick division, Chris Nilan. You're such a nice guy, and we'll hope that we see a lot of great hockey and you get the opportunities that you want. Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, Ed.
Chris Nilan, the new member of the New York Rangers. Stan Fick.
McKechnie, number 10, plays it. Out to center, Todd Ewan dropping it back. Penalty upcoming. Penalty called. Nilan is going at it with Tony McKechnie.
I think Nilan was going to get the original 2 minutes, and they are in tight.
Oh, boy, McKechnie's not known as a fighter, but he's throwing a couple inside.
See what Nilan just did with that uppercut? That's something he really likes to do, and what he did was get a hold of McKechnie's right arm with his left arm. McKechnie's not been able to drop his left glove, Sam, so that means when he throws punches, it will be just with the right hand, and Nilan neutralized that early.
McKechnie is very strong, but he's not known as a fighter.
This is one thing Nilan wanted to do, was to go out and stir something up early in the hockey game to help his team get some emotion. I think he's going to get the additional 2 minutes.
Minute 29 gone in the game. McKechnie and Nilan go off after their fight. We'll be right back. Fraser is explaining the minutes. There's some extra minutes here being given.
Tony McKechnie, the blue player involved in the altercation, skated over to the Rangers penalty box. Here, see if this is going to be the original 2. McKechnie braces himself. Nilan goes into him. Yeah, you see the elbow? Right up to the side of the head of Tony McKechnie.
And 5 minutes fighting.
Nilan gets 4 minutes extra. Each player gets 5 minutes for fighting, but Nilan gets 2 minutes for roughing, I believe, and 2 minutes for instigating.
And we mentioned right off the top that Michel Bergeron and Kerry Fraser have had their differences, and there may be some fireworks in this game between the two before it's done. Michel Bergeron, played by Walsham. He was born in Yonkers, New York. That had to be a thrill for him.
Johnson is hurt. Johnson is hurt. He was knocked down by Nilan. Whistle stops play. The fans roar. Nilan came out of the penalty box, chased Johnson, who went back for the puck and rammed him.
There was not going to be a penalty to Chris Nilan. To be very honest, I did not see the body check, but I looked right away to the official, and he did not have his arm up. We'll see Nilan move in on Johnson. Johnson facing the boards, does not expect Nilan to the last minute, and he took a run at him right off his skates. That could be termed boarding, and Johnson is still down. And I think groggy. Boy, oh boy, he looks awful groggy. There's a medic now coming out onto the ice. The ambulance is right down in that area where the gates open for the Zamboni, and the medic is coming out onto the ice just to be sure about Thomas Johnson. And you see him trying to gather his thoughts. Boy, oh boy, did Chris Nilan ever take a run at Johnson. Johnson turned around and saw at the last second that he was about to be hit. That's Craig Smith, the trainer on the ice with Thomas Johnson. And Nilan left his feet and flew a few feet through the air and hammered Johnson into the boards.
Now they've called for a stretcher here. And two have come over.
5-0-1 with Chris Nilan in the lineup. The team plays with vigor, with zest when Nilan is in action. His crunching checks like the one he put on Thomas Johnson in the first period reflects his intense desire to succeed. Chris Nilan, acquired on January 27th from the Montreal Canadiens, has had an immediate impact on the New York Rangers. His fiery determination has rubbed off on his teammates who look up to him for leadership.
I think to be a leader in the locker room and on the ice, I mean, you have to be loose, you have to be good with the guys, and you have to have some input in the locker room to how the game is going to be played. You have to try and prepare guys. Guys can prepare themselves, but you like to be able to put some positive reinforcement in there and just explain just what we have to do out on the ice to be successful.
Nilan knows a lot about leadership. He's learned from two of the best, former teammates Larry Robinson and Bob Gainey. The duo propelled the Montreal Canadiens to the Stanley Cup Championship in '86.
As far as leadership between Larry and Bob Gainey, I think Bob Gainey is really a great captain and a great leader, and he was a close friend of mine, and I learned a lot from him with two different styles. He's a little more passive in the sense of his off-ice things in the locker room and stuff, and where I'm a little more, I guess, wild in the locker room and a little more wild on the ice. But I learned a lot from Bob Gainey, and he was a great man, and Larry Robinson the same. I learned from both of them, and it's good to be able to take some of the positive things that I've learned there and bring them here to New York.
Another ingredient Nilan has added to the Rangers is toughness. He never backs down from a fight. But Nilan points out there are other ingredients which make a player tough.
Tough is going to the net for the puck, going in the corner for loose pucks. It's not necessarily meaning going out there and beating everybody up. You see, you have to play hockey, you have to play the game well, and you know, there's different definitions of the word tough. I mean, you got little guys. We had a guy in Montreal when I played there, Matt Snasland, who was tough. I mean, the guy went to the net, he went in the corners, and that's playing tough hockey. Yeah.
Are you having fun in New York?
I'm having a blast. I like it here, and you know, it's a lot different here than Montreal. I was born in Boston, and I had to make an adjustment up in Montreal, and I did, and I really loved the city, and I love the people, and I love playing there. But to come here and come back to the States and be in New York, I think there's a great opportunity for me here, and I want to be able to help this team make the playoffs and maybe eventually win a Stanley Cup. I think it would be a great thing for the city and New York and the fans who've been waiting for it for so long. But I really want to get involved in the city, and I want to be able to do some of the things I was doing in Montreal down here in New York.
Will reach out and grab him.
Leach moves it up the board, takes a hit, and Maloney gets it to Kissio.
I like that, Sam. Nilan's going to get an instigator penalty here, I would think. But he protected his player, Leach. Leach was hammered by Torrey Robertson, and they went after each other pretty good. Nilan went over immediately after Robertson caught Leach with a high check.
Nilan plays to protect her, but John, in a one-goal game with time running out.
I understand. It's late in the season, maybe not such a smart play. It depends how the referee is going to call this, Sam. Robertson, by the way, had an assist. That's his first point since February 15th, 8 games ago.
It was deflected in front. Hardy got the stick up. Now we've got a penalty called. Gloves drop. Nilan and Adams go at it. An early bout. Adams gets in a couple. Nilan's been unable to throw anything yet.
Nilan is a second-half fighter. Both linesmen now.
Ooh.
See what happens, Sam? Yeah. He waits and lets the other man throw, get tired, and then he responds. Adams is a tough guy. Nilan starting on right wing, Adams starting on left wing.
Now, look at Nilan with those uppercuts.
Now, away from the play, players are starting to push and shove. Hardy and Hunter, Gould and Patrick, and these two, are they going after each other? It looks like Adams knows it's best to throw Nilan down now.
Now Adams
try and finish it. Exactly. He's trying to knock Nilan down to finish the scrap as some fatigue had set in, I think.
Well, they had wrestling here this afternoon, and maybe Greg Smith picked up by Hardy. Off the stick of Mellamy. Ridden into the boards high by fatigue, but a penalty called. We've got a fight in the crease. Neckbauer and Sear. Excuse me, it's Nilan.
There was an original penalty coming up. Wow. There was a delayed penalty coming up, Sam, and Neckbauer went right to the net. And Nilan went all the way with them. And they got after each other right inside Van Beesbrook's goal crease.
Nilan will go. Tippett sends it in. And Nilan is going.
Sheehy hanging on. Nilan's going to get the original 2 minutes.
Sheehy's a strong guy.
Yeah, they both are strong, and it looks like Sheehy knows that Nilan wants to get one arm loose here as Sheehy has his arms around Nilan. She had taken some boxing lessons at Harvard for a boxing club there.
Nilan trying to get something in. He likes that uppercut, as we mentioned. But right now, the two linesmen, Brad Lazarowicz getting the hold on Sheehy, calms him down. Nilan is pried away. Nilan
remember, is a second-half fighter when he gets his arms free. Foligno using his strength not to... Oh, here we go. Try not to allow Nilan to get loose.
The linesman trying to separate them now.
Chris Nilan's been very involved, Sam, in this particular hockey game. 2 minors in the first period.
There's a shot by Priestley. Close save, Van Beesbrook. And I'll tell you how important that is. Now Hardy and Hartman were going at it. Now Gressner goes at Hartman.
And it's going crazy here. What a save by Van Beesbrook. And then the Rangers all went after Hartman, led by Hardy and then Gressner. And they are right after each other, folks.
Looks like every Ranger wants a piece of Mike Hartman.
Right.
Continue to grapple. Nilan and Napier are paired. Petit is paired off there with Ken Priestley. These are high. And now we've got Nilan and Rupp.
Here we go. Rupp already has stitches above his, or between his eyes, plus 2 black eyes.
Boy, they go down and go up.
This Thursday night?
Oh, boy.
You do all the boxing Thursday nights. Lindy Rupp, the tough guy on the ice for Buffalo. Of course, Nilan. You know, Nilan was having his jersey fixed after he served his last fighting major, and it didn't hold. The training staff did the best they could to try and get his jersey to stay tied down at the back. And there you see it went over top of his head.
It's gotten ugly here. It's gotten very ugly. There have been injuries in several fights. And I keep saying, John, there are an important 2 points at stake, and you can't... Says he's skating 100% now. Kirk Muller along the boards is tied up by Wickenheiser and Erickson. Puck kept alive, and already we've got something going. That's Jamie Huscroft, number 51, a rookie defenseman, going with Chris Nilan.
And Nilan's sweater is popped away from his hockey pants, and Huscroft trying to get that up. We knew this was going to be a tough game. Huscroft, the rookie with the Devils.
And he's a big guy, 6'2", 200 pounds, a 9th-round draft pick in 1985. And this one opens up the way yesterday's game tailed off. And you're right in the middle of the screen. That's Rudy Poshak. And he's looking for some action. So Nilan and Huscroft go off.
Huscroft, the 20-year-old, trying to make an impression with the Jersey staff involved.
And Nilan getting into it with Kushner.
He can go with anybody he wants to. They all want some of them.
The free agent rookie Dale Kushner going at Nilan. Another jersey that came up rather quickly. And things settle down. 10:36 to go, 3rd period. Rangers a 5-3 lead. Nilan and Kushner go off.
Right wing earlier, now playing right defense for the Rangers. It proves one's worth when you can do more than just play one position.
McDermott tied up
With Chris Nilan. And there they go. You're right. For many years, Nilan battled with the Adams division players a lot. McDermott, a heavy hitting player, not known as a fighter that much. You can see he's just trying to neutralize Chris Nilan, who was trying to throw some punches, trying to get his arms free.
Then you said this wouldn't it wouldn't be that way, huh?
Well, you got to have the on one. It's preseason.
Dermott trying to get a few in there.
Nilan is such a strong individual, Sam. A lot of times when he wins his battles during the second half of the